Hi, I'm Charles Bremerston, President of Aloha, the American Literary Organization for Historical Authors. This year marks the 125th anniversary of the death of Mark Twain, arguably America's greatest author in history. We are here today to commemorate his masterpiece, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
See, the thing is, a lot of authors before and after the Civil War wrote about anti-slavery, but they was all from the North, like Harriet Beecher Stowe and her Uncle Tom's Cabin.
But Mark Twain, see, he wrote it from a unique perspective. Yeah, he lived in Connecticut, he had that northern anti-slavery feeling, but he grew up in Hannibal, Missouri. He understood us and our culture.
That makes him very, very important, and it makes his novel more profound. Twain's World! Twain's World! Party time! Excellent!
All right.
Mark Twain!
Rock on, Mike!
Mark Twain, Huck Finn!
New South Books, they want to take out the word nigger and replace it with slave everywhere.
No way! No way!
I heard this like 15,000 times they say that word, and they want to take out every single one.
No way.
We're both huge Huck Finn fans.
Showing!
And I, for one, I know I can't read that. It would be too disrespectful to read the book.
It would.
And replace all those words.
Dude, tell us why, guy.
I believe the New South Books and other critics have looked at the word too superficially. Yes, I'll admit it's demeaning, but nevertheless, it defines Southern society and its views towards slaves. The word nigger, as used in the novel, identifies slaves as both inferior beings and pieces of property. By the end of the novel, Twain has shown the reader that Jim, our beloved Jim, is not a nigger for all intents and purposes. He is a decent man. Once you understand that, the word really takes... Are you okay? He gets a little emotional. It backs Southern culture into a corner and puts devil's horns on its head. How dare you stoop down to that level and rip on slaves? They're people too. The word nigger does not make you more racist. It makes the evils of racism all the more clear. Illustrating racism in this way is an effective lesson for students of literature.
Imagine that you're Mark Twain, and you need to find a person who can give you an unbiased view of the South. A person who can properly expose the flaws of Southern society.
So you're down south in St. Petersburg, Missouri, and you see a child smoking a pipe. His father's a homeless drunk, so the kid never fully experienced school or proper civilization. Not only has civilization not been imposed upon him, but he also rejects it. A child who rejects society and its culture is a perfect candidate for Twain, because he does not expose himself to the biases of society, nor does he want to. In addition to his environment, Huck is a child. Simply due to their age, children have a very small period of time in which they can embrace society. As Freud would say, a child like Huck Finn has embraced far more of his id than his superego. This is exactly what Twain wants. For example, towards the end of the novel, Huck sees the king and duke, two con men who cheated good citizens out of their money and sold arguably his best friend, Jim, back into slavery, being tarred and feathered. Southern society advocates punishment and retribution, yet Huck feels sad for the two criminals. He believes that what is being done to them is cruel, despite everything they did to him.
Huck understands the differences between right and wrong, and he doesn't let the flaws of the South deter him from making those distinctions. Huck teaches all of us to take a step back and evaluate our environment, our culture, and even our actions. There may be some nasty stuff going on around us that we're just too caught up in to see clearly, and it is up to us, just as it was up to Huck, to figure it out and make amends.
Many people view The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn as the climax of Twain's career. In The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, possibly Twain's most significant statement was a scene in which a group of kids paid Tom Sawyer to let them whitewash a fence that he was supposed to whitewash as punishment. He never said that it was a chore. He convinced the kids that it would be fun. Twain's little humorous anecdote regarding human nature
doesn't even come close to the profundity of the messages given in the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This is why many people view Huck Finn as the climax of Mark Twain's career.
In Huck Finn, Twain used satire to expose the flaws of slavery in America for one, but more generally, he was exposing the hypocrisy and inconsistency of human nature. Twain taught us that society has its flaws, and we may be living in a time where culture needs to be observed from a distance and reformed. Twain's message against slavery and for human equality must be known to the world, and we must know that an even bigger social dilemma may arise in our future. We need to know how to deal with it for the good of our fellow citizens and future generations.